I'm just going to kick us off. I'm Ashley Maltz. I'm an integrative medicine physician in Austin, and I founded the Austin Wellness Collaborative, of which Brenda is a member. And we are kind of I don't know, I have a series on that called the Corona series for parasympathetic reset that started, once we went into lockdown. And we are trying to bring more calmness and relaxation exercises of some sort, some modality to people out in the interwebs. So thanks for coming. And you guys, it's such a great group. I'm really impressed. And so we're on austinwellnesscollaborative.org. We have a directory of health and wellness professionals, everything from like Reiki healers to integrative physicians like myself, to chiropractors, massage therapists, everything and everyone, acupuncture, nutritionists. She's to my left on the Hollywood Squares circle stage. So anyway, that's us, and I'll let you kick it off.
Okay, so welcome Lydia and Jessica. Just so you guys, everybody, just so you know, you're muted. Please, if you have a question, there's different features. I think there's like raise your hand features and things like that, but also you just unmute yourself and ask the question. I want this to be very, very interactive. So this is I'm planning on doing like a 6-week series of this. The goal is, sorry, there we go. So my goal with this is just to create a platform where we can learn to eat mindfully, bring mindfulness into everyday life, understanding our emotions before, during, after eating, why we make the choices that we do. Because what I found as a nutritionist, many of you are clients and know that we can do all the meal planning and diet plans and the rights, the wrongs of what we should or shouldn't be eating that we want to. But if we're not in touch with what we're feeling, if we're not in touch with why we make the choices that we make, there's really not a whole lot of control over it other than willpower. So if you've got willpower most of the time, sorry, I'm gonna welcome Marcy. But most of the time, it's not going to be continued or sustainable. It's just unfortunate, but that's a lot of times the way it is. We'll make better choices. Sorry, I'm letting people in as I'm speaking, so I apologize if it's choppy. Hi, Kelly. We want to be able to make those choices sustainable, and the best way to do that is just to bring our awareness to how we're feeling, why we're making the choices that we're making. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is share my screen with y'all, and again, like I said, technical, not my thing. So let's do this. I'm gonna hit share screen, and can everybody see my? I think this stays here. Okay, can everybody see my screen here? Yeah, okay, good. And just so for the people that just came in, sorry, I'm trying to move this stuff all over and resituate. Here we go. Let's do that at the bottom. Okay. For everybody that just came in, you're muted, but I want this to be interactive. So if you have a question as we're going along, please don't hesitate to interrupt me. Okay. And I'm going to talk a lot with my hands. I apologize. But that's just, actually, I'm not going to apologize. That's just me. So, okay, there we go. Letting another person in. So mindful eating, what is this? Okay, so mindfulness. We've all heard of mindfulness. Does anybody have a meditation practice? For the people I can see, if you can raise your hand. Yes or no? Yeah, me too. So mindfulness, the definition, maintaining a non-judgmental, non-deliberative awareness of physical feelings, thoughts, and perceptions in the present moment. Okay, so really, a lot of people think that mindfulness means, or meditation means, clearing your mind. What I hear a lot from people when I ask, do you have a meditation practice? Well, I've tried, but I just can't stop the thoughts. You don't have to stop the thoughts with meditation, right? It's really just becoming the observer, the noticer watching those thoughts go by. It's not really about clearing your mind. Feeling your body, what's going on. Your body holds your subconscious. Okay, so it's always trying to speak to you. The aches, the pains that we have, the stomach, digestive issues. This is your body speaking to you. Okay, so mindfulness is really just non-judgmental. Okay, so we're not judging our thoughts or feelings. We're letting them float by and watching them. And non-deliberative. We're not trying to make anything happen. We're just noticing what's going on. So going to this place of the observer or the noticer. Okay. So the mindful eating definition. So what is mindful eating? It's a non-judgmental awareness of physical, so hunger and fullness cues, and emotional stress, boredom, frustration, happiness, anger, whatever your emotion is, when eating or in situations that have environmental eating triggers. So we're going to talk about internal and external triggers. So really eating with non-judgment. Okay. So I know a lot of you have been clients. If you've seen a nutritionist, if you've done if you're into any of this alternative health, we're aware of the no gluten, the dairy, the sugar, the evils of foods. And yes, I do think that what you eat is very important, what you put in your body. But right now, we're just starting to pay attention to how do we feel? What are our emotions before we eat? What are our emotions during? And what are our emotions after? So there's no judgment about what you're eating. Okay? We're just eating without judgment. So whatever it is, good or bad, try and drop the label. Just want you to start paying attention to how you're feeling. All right? So I'd like to, there we go. Oops, there we go. Let's do a little demonstration. We're just going to do this about 5 minutes. Is anybody opposed? You can unmute and say, I don't want to do this. Was anybody opposed to just doing a little 5-minute meditation? Okay, good. We're going to do this. So I want you to sit comfortably. Hands, palms up on your thighs. And eyes open or closed, whatever is comfortable for you. Okay? I just want you to breathe. Notice your breath. Doesn't have to be, don't make any changes to your breath, just notice your breath. And as you notice this, I want you to begin to notice all the places where your body is touching the chair, your feet, if they're on the floor or if they're dangling. Just notice. Thoughts, feelings, sensations, emotions, let them come. Don't try and stop them, but go to the place of the observer, the noticer. No analysis, no worry. Just notice. And as you do, I just want you to think to yourself what you notice. There's no right or wrong answer. Could be sounds, could be feelings, could be emotions, memories. Just notice. And as we do this, we're going to do a quick body scan. Starting from the top of your head, working your way down, I want you to notice each part of your body. Is there any tension? Anything that feels good, relaxed? If you notice something, let the thoughts, feelings, sensations, emotions come along with it. Notice any changes in your heart rate or within your breath. Any bowel sounds, if you notice them, or any movement within your digestive tract. And just notice anything that comes with those thoughts, feelings, sensations, emotions. And when you're done scanning your body, you can slowly begin to open your eyes and slowly look around the room, bringing yourself back to the room and the energy within the room. Does anybody have anything they want to share? Go ahead and unmute if you do. Anything that you noticed or felt. And if you don't, that's okay too. Okay. So this is the place of the noticer. Okay. Oh. Someone want to share?
No. Oh, sorry. I'm pushing all the wrong buttons.
That's all right. So this is the place of the noticer. This is where we want to get to. Okay. This is a wonderful meditation exercise that you can do on your own. I actually recommend most people do this 10 minutes or so a day. It starts bringing awareness to your body. Okay. So if you noticed any tightness, what is that tightness? Don't analyze it, but just feel it. Okay. Digestive distress. Just feel it. Any thoughts, feelings, sensations, emotions. And then at the end of this, just journal what's going on. Write down the things that are happening. Okay. So I've got to move this stuff out of the way. There we are. Okay. So mindful eating. Why would we practice this? Okay. So here's a little bit of science. So a lot of studies show that we are shockingly out of touch, like very out of touch. In one study, there was a group of participants, mostly women, about 132 participants, 75% of them were women. And they were asked to track how many food and beverage related decisions they estimated on average they made in a day. The mean between the 132 participants was 14.4 decisions. The actual number of food decisions alone were 59. And between food and beverage, they actually made on average 227 decisions. Okay, there's a big discrepancy, a big difference between 14.4 and 226.7 decisions, right? So we think that we're tracking, we think we're paying attention, but we're not. This is obvious, we're not paying attention. Participants served bottomless bowls of soup, ate 73% more soup than people who were just eating one bowl or served one bowl. They thought on average they were eating only 5 more calories. 73% more soup, just 5 more calories. Out of touch, right? Really out of touch. This is important. This is really important because when we're not paying attention, when we're on autopilot, we're eating. And we're not knowing how much we're eating. Those extra calories, they really make a big difference. It doesn't mean having to track every single thing, but it means getting out of autopilot. So under or overeating on occasion, of course, this is okay. This is normal. We go to a big event and everyone's eating and we want to join in and just have fun and not worry about it. Totally fine. You get super stressed out and you're just busy working all day, you forget to eat. That happens. There's nothing wrong with that. That is normal. However, when we're eating on autopilot, it leaves room for the creation of habitual reward-seeking behaviors. our eating behaviors. So reward seeking. A lot of these foods that we tend to eat on autopilot are refined carbohydrates, refined snacks, sugars that we don't need, right? So they provide a little bit of serotonin and dopamine. So these are our neurotransmitters that are involved in reward, okay? So when on autopilot, we actually allow our emotions, our anxiety, our depression, our stress to lead the way. And when we're in these states, we tend to eat more of these nutrient lacking and calorically dense foods. And we have no idea that we're even doing it, right? We can see the research shows. So when we lead with depression, anxiety, stress, emotions, we create these habits of eating that are reward seeking. We don't even realize that we're doing it. So this is why mindfulness is so important, because when we can be mindful before we eat, we can start to recognize that we're making decisions. We can start to recognize that a decision even needs to be made. Okay? So, what cues are we missing on autopilot? Oops, let's go. There we go. External cues. Okay. So the external cues on autopilot, we can see the bowl of chips, right? We're just having fun, hanging out, doing whatever, and we're just eating. We don't even realize that we're eating. We're not even hungry. We're not paying attention to the internal cues, which we'll talk about. We're just eating to eat. Oh, gelato, right? Yes. How many times have we done this? Gone out to eat and then been walking back to the car or, with friends and, oh, well, this looks good. I want to have this. Just a random stop, not even thinking about, are we still hungry or do we want to eat anymore? What is this about? Advertisements. These are external cues. When we are eating mindfully and we're being mindful, we're paying attention to these external cues. We're realizing that it's an advertisement and we're thinking about the yes or no. Should we do this? TV. How often do we do this? Sitting in front of some sort of screen, right? TV, Instagram, Facebook, social media, and we're all doing so much of it right now, especially in quarantine, right? Not even thinking about it, grabbing the bag of chips, grabbing the bowl of popcorn, whatever it is, and just eating. And gatherings with friends. Again, once in a while, this is okay, but it's really common that when people are eating around you, you begin to eat or you continue eating, not listening to the satiety cues. Am I actually full? Am I satiated? We're just eating because everyone around us are eating. These are the external cues that we don't pay attention to. We just do because we can, right? Because we're mindless, we're on autopilot. So the internal cues, the 5 senses. So we've got the eyes, so sight, the nose, smell, hands, tactile, touch, the tongue for taste, and the ears for hearing. We need to be eating with all of our senses. Okay, the eyes, looking at the colors, the textures of these fruits and vegetables and meats. So does anybody ever have like a craving? I want to eat red foods. Like they start craving red foods or orange foods or green foods. Is this an only me thing? Yeah, okay. So start paying attention to the color that you're craving. So I know that there's times where I'm like, man, I'll go to eat a bell pepper and I'm just like, I only want the orange or the red bell peppers. That's what I have to have, right? And I'm usually craving beta carotene. It's that need for that extra beta carotene, which is converted to vitamin A. So then I'm thinking that, maybe vitamin A is a little bit low in my body. Vitamin A is really essential for the immune system. So pay attention to the colors that you're craving, the foods that you're craving, the things that you see, and then Google that. What kind of nutrients are in this food? What might my body be missing and telling me that I need? So the nose, the smell, we're actually going to come back to smell and taste. I'm going to do those last. Touch, tactile. So we can use touch for a lot of different things, but really feel when you're cooking with food, feel the texture of the food. Is it soft? Is it mushy? Is it hard? Really feel that, and then notice what happens with your body when you feel those things. Okay? Texture of meat for cooking. You can tell when it's done without having to use a meat thermometer. When you practice touching, you can feel meat when it's raw, and then you can feel what it's like when it's cooked. And when you do this enough, you don't need a meat thermometer. You just know by texture and by touch when your meat is done. Okay? Hearing, how do we eat with our ears? Think about it. Think about the sound of boiling water. Think about the sound of something hitting the frying pan, that crackle. Think of the sound of chopping vegetables, the knife hitting the cutting board, the crackle as it hits through the cellulose and goes through the fiber within that food. With our ears. We don't pay attention to those things, but those things all stimulate digestion. Okay? This is why cooking is really, really, really important. Really important, because it stimulates digestion. We're going to talk about this in a later event, or maybe next week. Smell and taste. So the tongue only has 5 senses, right? Sour, sweet, bitter, salty, and umami. So all the nuances don't come from our tongue, okay? We can sense these things with our tongue. But the nuances of food and flavor come from smell. And there are research that shows that people that actually smell wine have more cognitive capacity than the people that don't. So smelling your food is really important to stimulating digestion and to taste. Okay? So the tongue is important because we're going to get those senses, but smell is going to give you those nuanced flavors. So we should be eating with all 5 senses. 6 senses. Okay? Emotions. Emotions are our 6th sense, our internal cue. Okay? We need to be paying attention to what we're feeling before, during, and after eating. I know I've said that like 5 times and I'm just going to keep saying it. So what you can do to pay attention to emotions is journal. Okay, that's the first thing I want you to do, is to start by journaling. Before you eat, before you choose a food, write down your emotion. Don't just think about it. Write it down. Log it. Because again, the studies have shown 14.6 decisions concerning food and beverages a day versus an actual 127. Okay? Write it down before you make any decisions. Start bringing awareness. Am I eating because I'm bored? Do I have anxiety? Doesn't mean it has to stop you. You can still eat. You can still eat whatever food it was you were intending to eat. There's no judgment. Just notice, what is this emotion? All right, I'm bored. I'm going to eat the pizza anyway. Take a few bites of the pizza. What do I feel now? Do I feel happy? Do I feel guilty? Do I feel pleasure? What is it that you feel? Do you feel relieved? And then at the end, write down how you feel. Take time to reflect. Am I happy that I did that? Am I thinking now about all the calories that I ate and how I'm going to have to work out 5 times as hard, which, by the way, doesn't work. I'm just telling you. Am I inflamed now, or am I worried that I'm going to be inflamed? Write down what you're feeling. Don't judge it. There's no right or wrong. Just notice what you're feeling before, during, and after. As you start to bring that awareness, you'll start to see patterns. Man, I always eat this kind of food. This is my go-to food when I'm feeling this emotion. Maybe I should actually do something and get to the root of this emotion. Or maybe not. Maybe you're totally okay with it, but you're bringing awareness to it, okay? Non-judgmental awareness. When we judge a food, we change how our body responds to it. So if we look at something as healing, we will incorporate that food fully into our bodies because it's healing and nourishing. When we look at something as terrible for us, we will not incorporate that food the way that we should. We'll turn digestive juices off. It'll cause stress. Turning those digestive juices off, the overall energetic resonance of the food will change. And the body will say no automatically. So again, no judgment. Allow the food to become a part of you. And then if you have digestive pain or whatever it is later, write that down. You'll notice. And then maybe that's a deterrent the next time you go to eat. When you're mindful, you know you're bored, you'll remember the digestive pain. Maybe, maybe not. Okay? I'm going to ask you for 1 week till we meet next week. No screens. How many of you does that like induce crazy anxiety? Yeah. So remember, when we're watching something, we're not paying attention. We're not paying attention to our emotions. We're not paying attention to how much food is going in our mouths. Are we just continually eating? Are we overriding our cues for fullness? Are we numbing out? Okay, so for 1 week, no screens while you eat. I want it to look like this. Okay, doesn't matter what you eat. I'm not telling you to eat what you consider healthy or what I would consider healthy. Eat whatever you would normally eat, but no screens. Okay, pay attention. How am I feeling? Keep a journal next to you. Oops. Keep a journal next to you and just write down. If your journal's on your phone, that's okay. But keep your journal open. No Instagram, no Facebook, no Netflix, no TV for 1 week. And if you can do, oops, sorry here. I apologize. I just got some sort of message. Okay. Sorry. All right. So I'll get back to that. So no screens, and it doesn't have to be every meal. If you can do every meal, please. And if you have families, you have kiddos, this makes this difficult. This is still possible. Spend some time, everybody doing this, no screens, and everybody go around and say what they're noticing about their food. Talk about your emotion before you eat. How does the food feel? Make a discussion around the food. Okay, so this is possible to do as a family. It's possible to do with kids. All right. Come on, there we go. There's the journal. I am noticing. No judgment. That's all you're doing, is noticing. Okay. So we want to get a baseline of what I'm going to do now is actually all we've got left. We're going to talk about that. Actually, we're going to come back to the baseline. We're going to do a little exercise, and we're going to talk about this next time. So I'm going to send a link to everybody, and I'm going to send, not a link, I'm sorry. I'm going to send 3 documents, and I'm going to send them through this platform, so everybody should be able to get them. If not, then we can email, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what this all looks like. But have you ever eaten a blueberry? I mean, really eaten a blueberry? Peggy, I know you have. Favorite salad. So we're going to do the blueberry mindfulness experiment. What this is you're going to sit down in a place that's quiet, uninterrupted. Okay? And you're going to take, it doesn't have to be a blueberry. I just happen to like blueberries. This is the raisin mindfulness experiment is what this is, or the raisin meditation. You can do a raisin if you want. I don't like raisins, so meh, blueberries. But you could do this with anything, a nut, a seed, a piece of chocolate, whatever you want it to be, but just something small, the size of a raisin or a blueberry, okay? And you're gonna sit quietly. And you're gonna leave that blueberry in front of you as if it were a completely foreign object. You've never seen it before, okay? This is a brand new thing. And you're gonna look at the blueberry. Take a few breaths and relax. And you're gonna slowly pick the blueberry up and inspect the blueberry. Just looking at the colors, the textures, the shades. Just looking at the blueberry. And then you'll smell the blueberry. Noticing what happens with digestion. Is there any saliva starting to produce? Is there anything happening within the digestive system? Digestive juices starting to flow? Just noticing. And then you'll put the blueberry in between your lips and you'll hold it there. And eventually just let it roll back into your mouth. And you're gonna hold it in your mouth for about 10 seconds. Remember, you've never had a blueberry. You don't know what this is. Feel it, the texture of it as it rolls around in your mouth. Okay? And then slowly, when you're ready, you'll begin to bite down. Notice the taste, the flavors, the senses, the bitter, the sweet. Okay? Notice those things. And then you'll keep chewing. Notice how your tongue and your teeth and your jaw just know what to do. You don't have to actively think about it. Your body just knows how to chew this food. It knew how to put it to your mouth. It knows how to digest it and incorporate all the nutrients and get rid of what's not needed or what's needed for the bacteria in your gut to break down so that it can produce nutrients for you, or the bacteria can produce nutrients for you. But just noticing these things. Trusting your body. Do you trust your body? Do you trust that as you chew this, it knows what to do? Okay? And then you'll spend a few minutes. There's a few questions that you want to answer after. And after you chew it, complete liquid, and then intentionally swallowing, recognizing that you're ready to swallow, and then feeling how that feels. Okay? So I want you to intentionally, with attention, eat a blueberry or a cherry or a piece of chocolate, whatever it is you want to eat. Okay? So I am going to, okay, we're going to go over I haven't talked about these quizzes, the inventories. We're going to talk about these. But the Eat a Blueberry, I'm going to send the instructions and then start tracking and journaling before eating without judgment. So from the place of the noticer, the observer, track your thoughts, feelings, sensations, emotions before, during, and after eating. No judgment. Just notice. And then journal these things as often as you need. Okay, so I'm going to end show, and let's see if I can figure out how to do this. There we go, stop screen share. Okay, everybody still with me? Yeah, okay. So right now I am actually going to start a chat for everyone. And let's see if I can. Okay. Sorry here. This is not doing what I want it to do. Okay, let me hit that. Okay, so. Okay, there we go. Sorry, technology, not my thing. Okay, let's pull this up. And I am going to send over this mindfulness inventory we're going to talk about. So Friedberg mindfulness inventory. Okay, and then is everybody seeing these things in the chat? Okay, I'm sending them over. Okay, is everybody able to access those documents? Can you see them? No? Oh, you know what? How do I fix this? Everyone in meeting. Let's try that again. Okay, there we go. There's one. Can everybody see that? Yeah, okay, cool. So there's two. Okay. If you don't see them, you can email me. Okay, there's my email address. Does everyone see that? Okay. If they're not coming through, then shoot me an email and I will make sure that you get that because we are going to use them for next week. Okay. So I do want you to do these. The important thing about these quizzes, let me tell you a little bit about their questionnaires. So the Freeburg Mindfulness Inventory is just going to be an overall view of how mindful are you in daily life. Okay. And they're short, they don't take long to answer. And then the MEQ is the Mindful Eating Questionnaire. And this is going to give an overview with subsections. How mindful are you of eating in everyday life? And where are you really good at it? And where do you need improvement? Okay. What research has shown is actually just doing these questionnaires and bringing awareness to mindfulness has been enough for many people to start initiating habit changes. So mindfulness is a habit change, right? When we build these habitual autopilot practices, they take time to break down. It's the same with mindfulness. This is not always easy in the beginning for a lot of people. It takes about 8 weeks to build a habit. So we're going to do 6 weeks worth of lectures and practice this kind of activity. And we'll talk about these mindfulness questionnaires next time and what they mean and how, if you scored low on especially the mindful eating portion, what we can do to help overcome that. Okay, we'll talk about each section. Does that sound okay to everybody? Yeah, is anyone not, just raise your hand and keep your hand up, not wanting to do, and I'm not offended, it's okay if you're like, no, this isn't for me. Is anyone not wanting to do more of this? Not offended at all? Okay, okay, cool. So with that being said, I want to talk a little bit about how I want to organize this, okay? Like I said, my goal, I was saying in the beginning, my goal is to build a big platform, to build a group, a community where we can support each other, we can talk about these things, and you can also have a little bit of access to me so you can ask questions. You can do that privately with I'm going to use Slack for this, so you can do that privately or you can do that in a group. If you would like to be a part of the Slack group and you have not received an invitation, then please shoot me an email, okay? The only thing that I require for the Slack group doesn't cost anything. If you're here, you're a part of it. The only thing that I require for that is to fill out, I'll send you a link to a terms of service agreement. It's basically just because I might be giving advice and different kinds of things in that group, so just covering myself there. But I would love for everybody to be a part of this group. I want to build it as big as possible because I think this is so important. This is what I've found in my practice to be the most important part of everything that we do is starting to build this mindful practice and this mindfulness habit. Okay. So if you don't want to be a part of the group, you absolutely don't have to. You can still attend these sessions. I'm using Eventbrite and I apologize for the link not getting sent. I'm going to try and fix that for the Eventbrite, for the Zoom information. I sent that over via a separate email. If you did get the Eventbrite link, then I apologize for you getting two. What we're going to do is I'd like everybody to sign up on Eventbrite. This is totally donation based. If you can, great. If you can't, fine. I just want people here in the group. Okay, that's the important thing to me. So if you want to be a part of the Slack group, shoot me an email. Okay, and everybody can see my email. Please comment if you can't see my email address. Okay, everybody can see it? Yeah, okay, good. So shoot me an email and I'll add you to the Slack group. I'll send you what needs to be sent. And then I think that is about it. I wanted to open it up to questions, discussions, maybe talking about, okay. I want to talk about questions, discussions about potential barriers to this or reservations. Is anybody willing to talk about this?
I have something, it's kind of related to your question. If we want, I do better when I have someone that holds me accountable or that I'm doing this with at the same time that I know personally. So having someone join in maybe in a week or 2 weeks, what does that journey look like for them, being that we've already been practicing for 3 weeks?
Yeah, great question. So what I am going to do is actually, so for anyone who wants to join, I'm going to send a link to the, we're going to upload this to a YouTube channel, and I'll send a link so they can watch the videos. And then if they want to be a part of the group, then absolutely shoot me an email and I will send over all of the forms so that they can get started. So joining in a few weeks, there might be a little bit of catch up, but for the most part, they should be just fine. Does that answer your question?
That's great. Thank you. That answers my question too, because I really wanted to invite my mom to this, but I really wanted her to, hear what we covered today. So it's going to be all recorded and she can watch it, or
Yes.
it's being recorded, I guess.
Yeah,
so.
this is being recorded right now. And is anybody opposed to being a part of the recording? So for anyone in the group, if you are, just shoot me. You don't have to say it out loud now, but just shoot me a message saying, I don't want to be a part of this. And what I'll do is I'll figure out a way to edit it so that, I should have asked that before so I could stop the recording. I apologize. But I'll figure out a way to edit it so that you're not shown in the video. You're not a part of it. So just shoot me a message privately if you're like, no, I don't want to be a part of this video.
One more quick question, because I think you said we're going to be using Slack, which is a different platform than Zoom going forward. Is that right?
Yes, Slack is really easy to create channels for different kinds of questions, and then people can kind of see everything. But if you want to message me privately, you can message me privately there, and that way it doesn't overwhelm email as well. Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to say on this one, we can like kind of stop our video like that and still go, like if people didn't want to be recorded, it's just, they're kind of gone. So that would be something that if people didn't want to be recorded, they could do.
Yeah, thank you. And actually, I will mention that at the next like meeting that we do. But yeah, Slack will be the in-between time. So in this next week, I'll also upload, I'll send links and upload the documents that I sent. I'll upload them to Slack as well. But it's just a way, I think it's a nice group platform where we can support each other if people have questions or are noticing that there are certain issues or difficulties. So maybe there end up being a lot of moms, and so then there's a whole channel for moms so that they can support each other a little differently. Yeah. Anybody else? Questions or concerns or comments?
I just want to comment something. Like when I met Brenda, she guided us to a challenge that it was like quit sugar and processed food, and that changed my life. So I am really grateful to you, Brenda, that you're doing this. I am right now living in Montreal, and I am more aware of what I eat. I am a personal coach as well. So for me, this that I'm learning right now, I am trying to bring my clients to. So it's an awesome idea, Brenda. I just want to say thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I miss you. I'm so happy to hear that.
And nice to meet you, everybody.
Okay. Anybody else before we wrap it up? Oh, wait, hold on. Kelly, I think you're saying something, but hold on. I'm going to unmute you. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. My husband lives with the TV on in every room. I mean, he cannot not have noise that drowns out his day.
Yes.
I have TV trays. They're cute ones. They're not like the old flip top, but we pull them in the living room. We eat in front of the TV.
Yeah.
And most of the time I'm not really paying much attention because I haven't had the TV on at all this morning. I don't need it when he's not here.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough one.
Yes. Yes. So, would he rather sit with the TV and eat by himself or eat with you? Well, maybe this is a test for the parents.
It depends on the kind of day he's had.
Okay.
I can get him every once in a while to go sit on the patio, leave the TV off,
yeah,
and chill. But yeah, that's a tough one.
Okay.
We might have to start trying him eating alone.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, I mean it's a good experiment.
Yeah.
But either way, at least you'll be able to eat by yourself in quiet and
Yes.
go through the motions, and maybe he'll join you.
We'll
I'm
see.
not sure that I could get my husband to join.
I'm not feeling very confident, but I can control.
Yeah. And I have to admit, since quarantine, my eating habits have, I mean, they're not terrible, but they definitely aren't what they used to be. And so maybe part of the reason doing this group is as much for, not maybe, it is as much for myself as it is for everybody else, because it does help to be held accountable, to do this as a group, to be able to talk about all of these things. It's really helpful. So, you're not the only one in the group who has a husband who likes to eat in front of the TV.
Good.
But I'll be practicing all these things right along with you.
Awesome.
You got to practice what you preach. So, anybody else before we wrap up? Once, twice.
I just want to say thank you, because this was awesome and you are awesome, and all of your community and the women in this group are amazing, clearly. And thank you for letting me, join in the AWC community.
Yes, thank you so much. So if you guys don't know, Ashley does a ton for the Austin Wellness community. She's started the Austin Wellness Collaborative. There's a public group, correct? Yeah. So go to the public group, check out the public group.
It's a Facebook page, so it's our business page, and there's the website and Instagram.
Yes, it's fantastic. Tons of information about practitioners and all different kinds of tips and tidbits, and you'll see me posting there a lot too. So thank you, Ashley, for having this and creating this, and thank you all so much for coming. I really, really, really appreciate it, and I'm very excited about this group. Like I said, this is a passion project, and I want this to be so big. So please, anybody you want to invite, send the word. I would really appreciate it, because the more people we can get doing this, the healthier we're going to be. We've got this COVID thing going on, and its comorbidities are the biggest issue. So diabetes and hypertension, all of these things are reversible, totally reversible. And they're reversible through nutrition and diet. And it starts with mindfulness. So we can build a healthier community and society if we can just start being more mindful about what we're doing with the food and the nutrition, the things that we're putting in our bodies. Okay, so thank you.
I will echo that in my practice. I'm an integrative medicine physician, so I have worked with people with nutrition and lifestyle and mindfulness and herbs and supplements. The number one improvement that I generally see to reverse chronic illness is diet and stress reduction. So the two combined, it's like a double So double positive.
Yes, absolutely. It's mostly the answer. It's 90% of the equation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you all so much. Check out the Eventbrite to sign up for week 2. Email me about the Slack group so we can get everybody put into the Slack group. And if anybody has any questions, just other than that, please feel free to email me. And I will see you all at 11 a.m. next Monday. All right. See y'all.
Thank you.